Hey folks, Keith McGowan, the Outboard Dad, here to help you have a better boating experience. Please like, subscribe, send me any comments that you have. Love the comments that are coming in. Just talked to a guy, Alan, today, who was asking questions about his Optimax, and we're going to help him take care of his motor really well so he can have a good boating experience. We have our 150, if you remember, we purchased, and now we're going to get it out, get it off the trailer. We're going to do a little rigging with our engine hoist, get it on our stand, and then we'll start doing some tests on it. So let's get it unstrapped, get the wiring out of the way so we're safe doing this. Don't try this at home. This is only for professionals. Outboard Dad has no responsibility for any issues you may have. Please be safe. Make sure your rigging equipment can handle. And if you can't do it yourself, make sure you have a professional take care of it. So let's get this motor cover off. I'm going to show you, we're probably going to pull this from the flywheel because I have a little puller that I use with an eye bolt on it that I've been talking about. So we'll show you how that works. So this motor is just a couple wing nuts we're going to take off to get this plastic cover off so we can access the flywheel, and then we're going to put our ring on the flywheel. So you would think the cover would be restricted, but most of the weight is on the center on the tire here. So we'll take this off, we'll get our eye bolt on here, show you how that works, and we'll rig this onto our stand. So all I have here is a steering wheel puller from Harbor Freight with an eye bolt. Again, I don't see the rating on it, but when I purchased it's something like 10,000 pounds, big 1/2-inch eye bolt. You want to make sure you get the right bolts to go into the flywheel to make sure the threads line up. You don't want to cross thread this. You don't want to get it in 2 threads. You want to get it in as far as it'll go without bottoming it out completely. So we're going to go ahead and put these in here, tighten them up, and we will crank this motor up. Whew, so rig that up and off the trailer. I don't like to leave it too long up there, so I'm going to be short here, but my tilt and trim is kind of pushed out, so I'm going to have a difficult time getting it on the stand. So I'm going to have to try and hook the battery up to this, see if that tilt and trim goes back. If it doesn't, we may have to put it down on the shop floor for tonight and then come back to it another time. So let's see if we can get this set up so we can get it on the stand. So we got our battery cables hooked up. Let's see if this power tilt and trim does anything. There's no weight on it, so it may be a little tricky. Maybe I'll put a strap on this and see if I can pull it. I just want to get a little tension on it. There it goes. Now, I could have also loosened up the manual adjust on there as well, but that went pretty well. Going to get this bolt out of here and then we'll mount this up. So that bolt was cut off. So now we're just going to lower it down nice and easy and get it close to where we want it to be. We'll bring our card in a little closer here. Do want to try and line up the old holes if we can. Get a little pry bar over here. Another Harbor Freight special pry bar. We don't want to put our fingers underneath it in any way, shape, or form, but that's pretty well close. think we can lower it down. Sometimes you got to keep a hand on it so it stays in the place you want it to. Holes look like they're pretty close to lined up. Now before I take all the weight off of it, I want to make sure my 2 points are hooked here. I'll show you that. So the 2 little pieces are hooked here, and then I should be able to put my rods in here. I'll do that first before I take all the weight off of this. So we know now that our power tilt and trim works. I didn't really look to see if it was leaking or anything. Did see a little bit of rust around the motor, the electric motor, but nothing crazy. So we'll get this bolted up, secured, and then we'll start doing our tests. We're going to do a compression test. They said it had an engine knock, so I have a feeling we're going to be tearing this down completely, which I cannot wait to do, and show you guys how to do a complete rebuild on one of these. A lot of stuff I learned from old timers over the years. Some people agree, some people don't. I don't build these motors for high performance. I build them for reliability. So let's get this secure, and then we'll start doing some tests. So please like, subscribe, send me any comments that you have. And if you have one of these motors, maybe you've had a rod knock and you know what it is. I've had times where it's just the flywheel that's loose, and I thought I had a rod knock. So if that's the case, I'm going to let the previous owner know. He was a really nice guy. And we'll work something out. If this just becomes a sellable motor, I'll help him out in one way or another, or maybe he's got another motor for sale or a project that he's doing. So let's get this bolted up and secured, and we'll be back, and we'll continue on with checking this 150 horsepower. I believe it's a 98 carbureted motor. I'll have to check on the date on the motor as well, and we'll start doing all of our checks and see what this motor needs and if it's worth getting running. Again, this is Keith McGowan, the Outboard Dad, helping you have a better boating experience. Have a great night.